here starting. Our player at the bottom left, Zerg, the final boss. He is known as the one and only
MVP 동래구.
DRG, the last player for the MVP team. And starting to the bottom right is for Axiom-Acer, the one and only
Acer MMA.
Axiom-Acer fans are happy. Their team is up against one of the strongest GSTL teams that we have. MVP has always done very well in the team league, but they are on eye level. After we saw them losing in the preseason, they are now performing quite well today. And MMA, he could win the match in their favor.
Yeah, this game decides everything. It's all down to this. Plus, spawns are not what we have. We have close spawns by ground. A lot of Terran players try to hit bio-time pushes on this map because of this at the third base. Notably, Hack versus Stefano is one example I can think of off the top of my head. And, you know, it's a map where that's probably not going to be what MMA has planned, but this is something as a Zerg player, when you scout the spawn locations, you have to keep in mind. You want to scout as quickly as possible, get the most information you can.
Yeah. The first scout that we have, while the hatch goes down at 15, is a scout at the Zalnaga Watchtower. You want to have that because this is the position where usually you will see proxy barracks in the middle of the map. The reason being quite simple. You don't know exactly where your opponent spawns, so from the middle of the map, from the center, if you proxy your barracks there, then you have the shortest distance to your opponent's base.
Now, he does pause the game here briefly, but he has seen the command center first.
Yeah.
And what that means is that we may potentially see a double hatchery before pool opening from Dongregu because he made 2 extra drones. And on this map, even at these close positions, this is something you absolutely still can pull off.
Exactly. If you want to take the space, a lot of Zerg players will decide with the spawning position that we have to not expand towards the Terran and take your normal third base, but to expand to the left side of the map and take this third. But what he just said is definitely true. He can take a double hatch before gas if he wants to.
Yeah, this is part of the reason why you see that drone scout, not just because of the proxy barracks, but also to know on a map like this where most Terrans will go command center first, you have that opportunity to say, 100%, I have this freedom now, I'm going to do it.
You can also go for a roach push on this scenario. The map is a little bit bigger, so you will need more time to cross the map and to go towards your opponent. But if you see him opening up with the command center first, you know that his tech will be delayed. What you are afraid of if you go into roach push are not necessarily Widow Mines, it's more the chance of your opponent having Marauders out. With a good timing, you will hit before the tanks are there, especially in this scenario. So he has those 2 choices. He can either go for an aggressive opening, trying to get a little bit ahead in economy by taking down Harvesters, or he takes the third base before he even sets his spawning pool into motion.
The game has been resumed, by the way, and it looks like he just gets a warning. Nothing too drastic happening here.
And there's the spawning pool.
Yep, he goes pool. It's safer, and if we see a gas very early as a response to, it probably means he's going to put some aggression on, but
yep.
He could also just do the same build we saw last game from his teammate where he just goes to the 4 queens, which is much more common.
He has all those choices. The scouting was perfect. He got a bit lucky with spotting his opponent at the first position, so he saw everything that was going on here. And now just going into additional Harvesters, will we see a third base early? Is he going into gas? This is the main question here. For his opponent, for MMA though, he knows that he's been scouted, so he will be very reluctant to play it even more greedy than this. He will try to get a good defense out as soon as possible.
Yeah, and MMA has also some choices to make because he could potentially go into a double gas here or his own third command center.
He's getting 6 Zerglings, he's getting 8 Zerglings. This is a lot. In a scenario where your opponent has a command center first, a lot of Zergs will only get 2 Zerglings for the scouting, maybe 4, but going into 8 in total, this means that he wants to do some damage with them. Moving in will be difficult. He already spotted the bunker and he will not be there in time.
I wonder,
or will he?
No. I wonder if he saw that there was only 1 barracks. That's something I can't check right now, but if he knows that, that's also really important because if there's only 1 Marine in there, he can just run by so easy. And that's exactly what we're going to see here. He needs to send all his lings at once, though.
Well, he's waiting for the 8.
Yeah, he has to wait for the 8, but he may even just cancel his plans. Or no, he's going to run by. No, at this point, he's just like, it's not really worth it for me.
Yeah, I feel the reason why he went up the ramp is just to check if there are actually Marines in the bunker and how many there are.
I mean, there's certain things you can do, you can hope for. You can also try to draw the Marines away with an Overlord or something like that, and then go in for the attack.
You could really see that he started those Zerglings a second before the bunker was started. So that was the point where he was like, well, if you get your bunker a bit late, I can do damage with this. As it is, he couldn't do any damage at all. So this is a tricky situation. He could have done, I feel, more.
It's a bit of an investment that it's kind of annoying because you lose your drones there that you could have had instead, and so you have a little bit worse of an economy. But with the larva mechanic of Zerg, with his next round, you can just fix it, and those Zerglings are obviously always going to be useful later on.
Yeah. One of the reasons why you might not want to go into an early third base before you start with the pool is that this will open you up for Widowmine aggression. And it's a bit annoying in the beginning for Zerg play to detect the Widow Mines. You need a Spore Crawler, which you can now build without having an Evolution Chamber, or you start with the earlier lair tag. But once the Widow Mine is burrowed, you will definitely lose something. The Widow Mine outranges all Zerg units except for Hydralisks with a range upgrade, Broodlords and Locusts. So once it's actually burrowed, you will definitely lose at least a Zergling or two.
Alright, I have a question for you. I know this probably should be asked to TLO, but can a Viper abduct a Widow Mine that's underground?
I do not think so.
I don't think so either.
I would be very surprised if that would actually work. I cannot see that work at all.
I don't know if it can abduct burrowed units at all, like whether it's a roach or that. I don't know why you would ever want to, but maybe to save a roach or something. I don't know.
Save a roach? Nah.
Probably not. Not worth the energy, generally.
I mean, I know that if you save the cheerleader, you save the world, but if you save a roach, I don't think too much is happening. That's not even good karma.
This is not going to be a good karma either, dropping these Widow Mines down. See what he targets. Oh, if he gets those Lings, if he targeted that well on those Lings, that could have been devastating. We don't know just yet what it hit.
Cool down on the speed boost.
Is he going to go for it? He does.
There's one and immediately pulls back. Nice.
That was really well done.
Yeah, that was close, but this is what I talked about. He has no detection, so this is a little bit tricky for him. And
oh, wow, he pulls him back in. I mean, it's probably only going to get 2 here.
No, he sent
it already set off.
He sent one Zergling in to set it off because he knows that he will have enough time to build it. Oh, but now he realizes the problem because again, pulls all the units back. Well done. Only leaves the Zergling. The Widow Mine automatically targeting the closest unit.
Ooh, this is going to be really close.
Yeah, I don't know about that. This is gonna get ugly, Wolf.
I think he should just pull away. I don't know why he's not. Has he forgotten? I think he just forgot.
10. He lost 10. One earlier and now this one. He thought that the cooldown was a little bit longer.
Yeah.
He actually thought that he had enough time building the Spore Crawler and then going for this, but that was a huge mistake. Losing 10 Harvesters without it actually... This didn't have to happen.
Yeah, I mean... I can't see another reason why he allowed that. I guess somebody thought the cooldown was longer. Now he's losing Overlords. He's crippled in supply. He can't make units at all. And MMA just even slowing down creep tumors here.
Yeah, he's starting to attack the creep tumors, and this army is very strong. There are no Banelings, Wolf.
He has only 15 Lings. That's less Lings than we have Marines, and really his army is actually his queens right now.
The only thing that saves Dongnagu's ass in this situation is that Stim isn't done.
Yeah, and it's getting closer, but he does have some time. He's making roaches. I don't know about this. He doesn't have a Baneling nest.
The siege tanks are gonna demolish the roaches if Dongnagu doesn't get a good flank.
Yeah, he's starting to clear up the creep so well, so carefully here. He doesn't worry about the creep on the edge. He only wants to clear up the creep where his army is.
He has 11 now. He has 12. He's getting a lot of roaches here. This might actually work.
If he has speed and he has 1-1, he will have speed no matter what, but 1-1 is a ways away.
Stim is also going to be here, and actually I like what MMA does. He moves back. Think about what he achieved with this push-out. He took down creep tumors. He completely contained Dongnagu with 2 bases. He couldn't transfer drones over to the 3rd base. He couldn't produce drones because he didn't know, will you commit? Will you go in? So he had to produce roaches. So his drone count is lower than it should be, especially with that Widowmine taking out 10 earlier.
And now he has the ability to come up here and to pick off some more tumors and get away. No medevacs nearby, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, that's tricky. He has to use Stim to run away.
Yeah, I don't know about that trade, but the drop is going to be a much bigger deal.
That was a very positional attack that we saw in the middle of the map. Yes, this is scouted, but DRG is running back. He's trying to pull this off.
That's why it's really important to have that tumor on the right side. Without that tumor, he wouldn't have seen this. He loses a queen.
Yeah, he's losing more than a queen. He's taking down a few roaches, MMA that is, and just speed boosts out. This is a very well set up aggression by MMA. Every decision that he made so far in the game was well thought out.
Yeah, very calculated, and Now that he's forced all the roaches, he has enough siege tanks to sit back and even take his third base while he continues to put pressure on. Without mutas, it's just drops are such a challenge to defend.
Yeah. You need to have structures at your bases if you want to defend against the drops. The better... Well, yeah, if you have a mobile army, if you have mutalists, that's of course better to defend, but for right now, the issue really is that we have this huge force in the middle, taking out the queen, taking out creep tumors. DRG is not able to spread creep properly. He always tries, he has the extra queens to do it, but MMA is always there waiting for him.
MMA is looking strong, man. He has definitely been practicing. Tanks moving forward here. And the roaches want to come for the flank. He will get some reinforcements. That's very important. He gets these units basically for free, losing only one roach, it looks like.
And he knows that they are coming, so even if you try to go for a base trade, then the siege tanks will be waiting for you on the high ground.
He is going to lose so many harvesters here as long as he targets. Now he's going to get the roaches.
Siege tanks are still there, and they are guarded by Marines. This is so positional by MMA. It is beautiful.
It really is. It's actually like watching art.
Yeah. DRG just can't do anything. He can't go back with the army that he has to the right side because there's siege tanks waiting for him. He has to wait for the units to build until he can defend his own natural. MMA has the perfect grip on him.
And even though he will take out this army, he's losing too much. It's not efficient for him.
It's not a really good trade. He lost a lot of harvesters now. He's down in supply still, and MMA is just completely unchallenged here. He could take this army down, could put it on the aggression, and still macroing it up at home. Look at this. 31 harvesters are killed. 31.
He takes out more and more roaches here, and he has his third base totally secured, whereas that's something that DRG cannot really do. He's lost so many harvesters there. He needs to transfer workers over, which is always insecure. His creep has been denied.
The only thing that DRG did so far in this game was trying to defend.
Yeah.
He moved out with his Zerglings once at the beginning, trying to go up that ramp, saw the bunker. That was the only time where he crossed the center of the map. The only time. From this point on, it was MMA who dropped, MMA who pushed into the middle, MMA who went into the third, and now DRG is just trying desperately to do something, but the tanks are waiting for him.
Yeah, that one roach, man, he certainly ate the brunt of it, and there's going to be a drop here at the third base once again, forcing more and more lost mining time for DRG, who can't defend with these things. He has to wait for the roaches. The Marauder is at the front, tanking the damage. He boosts out.
DRG is on 3 bases against 3, and he's desperately trying to make something work. He doesn't get any harvesters. He's on 60, which is okay. Pretty much July style on 3 bases. The upgrades are also working quite well for MMA here. He's a little bit faster, especially with the attack upgrade. But for DRG, he really needs to start an engagement, win it, and then take map control if he wants to succeed in the long run.
If he doesn't have map control, how can he ever hope to beat this type of army composition? Now he's trapped in the middle of the map, off creep. I don't even know where he runs here. He's going to try to go around to the south, and he gets so lucky he barely escapes there. That could have been disastrous. That's half of his army right there.
That's a lot of roaches that are trying to escape. And 4th base is now also being built for MMA. Let's not forget about that. He is the one who takes another base first.
Drop at the natural. Actually, that's at the third base, but there's one in the main base at the same time. And DRG just does not have an army large enough to defend all fronts. He doesn't even have a queen here.
These are only the drops. The main army is still in the middle of the map, controlling the center, while he takes this 4th. The Marines in a good position.
The upgrades, the position, this is making it so Wings cannot defend.
Yeah, the Baneling coming in, he doesn't see it, he's busy in the middle, so he doesn't target fire it. But we have it in the third, another drop, and DRG he's just running, he's running. He has so many points in the map where he has to be and to defend, and he can't deal with all of them.
Yeah. I mean, if this is a game of hide and seek, MMA is the seeker, and he's found his prey. He's chasing it down. Another flank, but it's just not. Is it enough? His Marines are a little bit too far forward. He will get the siege tanks. That's quite important, but even the Marines DPS alone may be enough to push these roaches back with the medevacs here, and the upgrades.
A 60 supply lead wall for the Terran player. Just look at this force. The medevacs, they definitely lend the support.
GG! And MMA with his team, Axiom-Acer takes their first match. A crazy surprise.
Really well done, Axiom-Acer. They did it. They pulled it around. From the beginning, they were behind every single time. They were 1 map behind Team MVP. But MMA, he is the one to claim victory twice. He takes down the final boss. He takes down DRG. And this is the first win for Axiom-Acer. Congratulations. Well played today.
Yeah, and this has got to be a difficult defeat for DRG to swallow. You know, he's the final boss. He came out, but MMA was too much for him today. MMA has performed so well today. Yeah. He's definitely improved. This is the MMA that we know. This is the MMA that is the famous MMA.
This is a great win for Axiom-Acer.
It certainly is.
The team in the preseason, they didn't look all that strong. MVP is a team that has declared from the beginning, we want to take this championship. We want to be the champion at the end of the season. We have such a strong team. We do well in the individual league. We have always done well in team league. We are going to be the champion of the first season in Heart of the Swamp in the GSTL. And now they just lost.
Yeah, they lost to a team that looked weaker in the preseason, and a team that has very few players, but some of the best players in the world. Even having Scarlet to train with probably has affected MMA's play today.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel that this team, this is so changed from what we've seen in the preseason. I really love this. And at the beginning, I didn't know if they could really pull it off, but they always fought their way back today. Alicia was close to defeating Keen. And I'm not quite sure, but it looked a little bit like everything was going well for Team MVP. Yes, they would have loved to take out two opponents with a player, but if you take the early lead, you're always the one who can choose the map if you're tight.
Yeah, we saw this situation yesterday, the same exact thing. I mean, you have this stagger of one player wins, another player, and then he's defeated the next time. But if you're always the one who's picking the map first, it makes your opponent be the reactor.
Exactly. So that was very well played by the entire team today, and MMA, of course, is going to be the MVP here, taking down not only two players, but taking out DRG. That was definitely a great game that he played there. Didn't leave any openings for Dongragu to take that around.
This is a great start for this team.
Yeah.
I mean, they are coming in here as the new team, along with the Zubu, but you know, some of their players are coming from different places, including Scarlet, for example, who just got here. They're able to take this win. It's incredible against a big fan favorite and a team that has more players and more skilled players, more Code S players.
I feel once again in this game, as in the game that we saw Tails lose, the Widowmine was the crucial factor in the beginning. He really thought that he could pull it off, build the Spore Crawler, take down the Widowmine that was in cooldown. He was a second or two off. The Widowmine gets the shot off. He pulls the drones away. They are still in range. Bam, 10 of them down.
And this happens again to Dongragu in the final game. He loses 10 drones as well to that shot. So this really impacts the game. But I feel that more than that, MMA's multitasking, his drops, his constant aggression was just too much for both Zerg players to handle.
He had a perfect grip. He positioned his army in the center. You could see part of the army of DRG to the top right. He had a good grip at the bases, and he really ran with that.
There was a Spire in the final game, but you wouldn't have known it because there were no mutas around, because he has to build roaches, because he has to defend, he has to get banelings, he has to use all of his gas for that, because he's being attacked constantly right on the edge of his creep. There's no thought or an idea of Mutalisk coming out to do any harassment or pick off medevacs or siege tanks. That's just not an option.
When you see live play against Terran, what he does is he puts constant aggression onto the Terran player. He doesn't give them any room to breathe. This is how he wins his games. He's a prodigy. He is the best player in the entire world, and you could really see that that DRG, he tried to do that, but against MMA he couldn't. The defense was just really well set up, even with the command center first. And it's still... I'm asking myself the question, what would have happened if DRG, after he scouted, decides to go either for a Roach push out or for a third base before a pool? Can he pull it off? Would that give him the edge that he needs in the game to get ahead?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that definitely could have been explored, but DRG made his choice, and now he lost, and DRG is the guy who often loses when he comes out last, and this is going to be something that's on his mind going forward. He's done it again, you know, come out for his team, being the final boss, and failed.
Yeah. We're heading now into our interview. We're having, of course, a talk with the MVP and also with the coach, with Alicia.
Yeah, Alicia kind of
representative.
Yeah, he's stand-in because Crank is AFK right now in the UK.
So they're just asking him, as he was the first player today and he lost his teammates, they came back and they asked him, how do you feel about that, about the huge comeback that their team made?
그리고 이제 상원이가 마지막에 에이스 역할을 제대로
He prepared a lot for the first match. The match didn't go as planned. He said he's very happy that Acer was able to get the first win in the GSTL. Axiom-Acer, that is. The teams together here. It's so interesting to have like an interview that takes place over 2 floors.
What I find really interesting is that the guy to the left was finally able to talk.
Yeah.
Not smiling in the camera for once and nodding.
He's got his... Is his color backwards? I think it is. He's got to fix that.
We'll have a look in a second. I didn't see.
That's Firebat Hero, by the way, for StarCraft 1 fans.
기점으로
He read online that a reporter was writing that their team is the weakest team out of the GSTL. He thinks he proved them wrong in today's matches. And, you know, I think a lot of people were saying that about this team. Not to say that they're the weakest, but they definitely looked like they had the hardest time ahead of them.
They have to get these things.
That man has his face like, please don't touch me with that. I am the MVP.
They definitely made a good start into the season, that's for sure.
Yeah. So I guess both the casters had that flap open.
Yeah. MMA, of course, being the MVP here, also being asked. He says that he was very, very thirsty for victory on an individual level, and of course also for his team here. He was happy that he was the one to win 2 games for his team, for Axiom-Acer. Even a little bit of a relief here.
Yeah.
그 외에 테란 라인에 김동원 선수, 김민혁 선수가 있는데
just asking some further questions here.
테란을 보유하고 있는 액션-에이서.
I love seeing the Korean casters with the Korean casters behind the Korean casters.
Yeah.
오늘 준식이 형이 1킬 했으면은
Well, they have 3 Terrans in the team, and the interviewer wants to know how they feel in the team about the Terran players right now that are in the
전정범 선수가 원래 연습실에서 굉장히 강하거든요. 근데 대회에서 좀 GSTL에서 지금 12전 12패라고 알고 있는데
He said it's kind of ironic because, you know, he's got a lot of different races on his team, but only the Terran players were able to win today.
He would have loved to see a few other races able to take a game.
또 옆에 문성원 선수가
Well, that concludes our match today. Axiom-Acer takes it in surprising fashion. And we're actually going to have a quick interview with Scarlett, in fact. That's a bit of a surprise to me, but I'm kind of excited about it.
Yeah, I'm interested to see who's going to do the translations. I didn't see John today in the studio.
Yeah.
Usually
Oh, there he is.
Oh, wow, he snuck in.
Dark Templar John.
Look at that.
Now we can just relax.
He looks a little bit lost.
질문 좀 다시
예, 오늘 강남 스튜디오에 와가지고 이제 경기를 지켜보는데
I don't think we have to
We don't have to
translate this one.
translate this one. I'll just put it on you, John. We'll just relax.
Yeah, we'll just sit this one out, I guess.
한번 물어주시기 부탁드리겠습니다.
Oh, since we don't have John's mic up, he's asking what are your thoughts after watching today's matches?
The studio is really nice. It's actually I had never went to the old one, so yeah. Winning,
shy.
I was a bit worried when we were down to one last player. It was either going to be me or MMA coming out because I'm decent ZVZ right now, but it ended up being him, and he played really well. So I'm happy we won.
우선 예전 스튜디오에 가본 적이 없기 때문에 새로운 스튜디오 일단.
So he's just translating what she said, of course, for the Korean audience to hear.
원래 이제 마지막에 이제 한 경기 남았을 때 걱정이 많이 됐는데 이제 문성원 선수 아니면 자기가 나갈 예정이었대요. 그래서 자기도 요즘 저그전이 아주 자신 있기 때문에.
That answer is a lot longer than what she said.
Yeah, sometimes in Korean that is the case.
이어서 스칼렛 선수가 언제쯤 이 경기에서 좀 만나볼 수 있는지도 질문.
The next question is, when can we expect you to come out in the GSTL?
Probably next match. It's just I didn't have much Heart of the Storm experience before coming here. I was supposed to go to IPL 6 around now, which was gonna be Wings Liberty, but that got cancelled. So I'd been playing Wings Liberty until really recently. But soon I'll be playing.
아마 이제 다음 경기 때 이제 출전할 것 같은데요. 자유의 날개를 지금까지 자유의 날개를 계속 연습해왔대요.
Listening to John talk here, I actually think that he's making up stories right now.
IPL 6를 갈 예정에서 있다가 그게 취소돼서 이제 군단이.
I can verify it's true.
좀 시간이 좀 더 필요하답니다.
John just talks slowly and confidently.
앞으로 스칼렛 선수에게 좀 많은 기대를 걸어보도록 하겠습니다. 자, 이렇게 선수들과 좀 이야기를 나눠봤는데.
Okay, that's not true, I guess.
선수들도 여러 매치.
Well, that is some interesting thoughts from Scarlett. Been playing a lot more Wings of Liberty, preparing for IPL. Then, of course, deciding now to come out to Korea. And she said that she probably comes out next time. Was ready for ZVZ if need be, but MMA ended up being the better choice today.
Yeah, I already talked about with her earlier, and I'm going to have a quick interview with her later. You can check Reddit later on. I will definitely upload it when I'm back at home. Here we have now the match results for today. As you can see, with a 4-3, Axiom-Acer defeats Team MVP, MMA being the one player who is able to take 2 victories.
Yep, MMA, the MVP, and this gives Axiom-Acer a good position going forward into our round robin. MVP, on the other hand, has a lot of work ahead of them. It's not to say that they're out of it, but here are our matches coming up next weekend.
Exactly. We have Enes Sosa up against Startail, and Azubu has to play versus the Prime team. These games are going to happen next weekend on Friday and Saturday.
Yep, same times, 6:10 and 1:10, so a little bit earlier than our normal GSTL on the Saturdays. It's going to be at 1 o'clock.
The 4 remaining teams that we haven't seen just yet, it's going to be interesting to see how they start into the season. I'm especially excited for Zubu versus Prime, as Zubu looked strong, very strong in the preseason. The Prime team, on the other hand, they have a lot of good players, so who is going to take this? The season is going to be very exciting. I love the new format, I love the round-robin format.
New players,
it's a little bit
new
more forgiving.
expansion.
Exactly, new studio. It's going to be epic. So I really hope that you guys will tune in next week on Friday and on Saturday, that you enjoy today's matches. It was a lot of fun casting in the studio. We're going to see you next week. Bye-bye.